Hey, how you guys doing? It's producer from Brothers Comics. Welcome to the Who Day Over 40 podcast for long time, long suffering Cincinnati Bengals fans. Who Day, everybody. Man, I know I had started some stuff out that I was going to be counting down all those days in between the end of the off season and up to game week. And I started out pretty good. And then, what Bengals wore that number best and blah, blah, blah. Yo, man, trying to fill up those days as a Bengals content creator are very, very difficult. And, I had good intentions and all, but there was just no way I was going to be able to do that. So right now we are literally game week. The NFL is back. There's a game on Thursday night between two teams that I hope end in a 0-0 tie and everybody gets hurt between the Ravens and the Chiefs. But on Sunday afternoon at Paycor Stadium, the Cincinnati Bengals open up their season against the visiting New England Patriots. And, we are here for that. So there's a lot going on in Bengaldom leading up to the game. I know we're going to talk about that wide receiver, and I'm going to save that pretty much for the end. And, again, if you've been following me for a while, and I kind of allude to it here and there, okay, so I work in like kind of the mental health business. And, one of the things in that particular business is that you're trying to find win-wins for situations when there's conflicts. And everything kind of is a little bit of a shade of gray. People get themselves into trouble when they look at things absolutely, kind of like the Sith in Star Wars, they only deal in absolutes. Well, fans can do that too. And teams can do that as well. And once you live in those absolutes, when people pull themselves into one corner or in opposite corners, that's when conflict happens and you can't come to any sort of solution, whether it be in relationship, whether it be with money, whether it be contracts, jobs, whatever, is when people take a stand and not necessarily unwilling to compromise, but if everybody believes that they are correct, there's no working through those things, even if everything that they're saying is absolutely or potentially or mostly true. So, but I'll get to that a little on. All right, so let's jump in. Let's set the show. So, Bengals news and notes from the past week. It is Labor Day, actually, and the Bengals just finished up practice a couple of hours ago. And we'll talk about the news and notes that come out of there. We'll look at a little bit of Patriots news because they did make some news this week in regards to their quarterback situation. And then I'm going to jump on y'all for being emotional fans. Again, fan is short for fanatic. I understand that. Trust me when I tell you this. I've got some weird fan stuff too. Like I really, really do. I got weird superstitions. I got takes on certain things, players, ownerships, or whatever. The tagline for this podcast is "Long time, long suffering Bengals fans." And again, I get. I'm happy that there's a lot more Bengals fans now than there were when I was growing up, but also some of y'all don't understand this organization still. The how it's run, the family business, the way they see things, under Mike Brown. But even, Katie Blackburn or whatever sees kind of the stuff the similar way too. She's not that much different from her father, maybe a little bit more modernized, but they're still run kind of under the same structure. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then, to save yourself as a fan from getting yourself all riled up, your blood pressure's all the team and the games are enough for your blood pressure. You don't need the freaking organization to drive it up too unnecessarily. But we'll get into that at the end of the show. All right, let's move. All right, some Bengals news and notes. Okay, they practiced today on Labor Day. Well, not Jamar. Well, get to that later. It was announced that Dax Hill will be the starting cornerback too, opposite of Cam Taylor Britt. Um, Come a long way here at the start of season 3 for Dax Hill. Comes in, doesn't play really as much as a rookie as, they were grooming him to be the safety replacement for Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates leaves and signs that huge contract with the Falcons. All right, well, we're going to roll, Dax right into this. And he struggled. They also put him opposite of somebody that was terrible, and was it Nick Scott or whatever as the other safety. And the Bengals back end just went to absolute shit very, very quickly, and gotten to the point where Dax Hill, they were like, I don't even know if you can play safety, which is again, which would have been a position switch from him coming over from the school up north anyway, as he had played primarily kind of like slot corner. So now they go with a full position switch to playing outside border corner, and it's supposed to be him, and his college teammate battling it out for the job over the course of over the off season, and Dax won the job pretty handily, it seems like. He has elite level athleticism and he has all the skills, traits, and all of those things that they say to be an outside corner. Smart, quick, can react. He's definitely got cornerback hands. We saw that with him as a safety because he can't catch a cold. But, as a cornerback, he's able to get there, be in contention, contest balls. He's got those long arms, and he wins the job. And, again, he went to school up north, but I'm hoping that this works out for him and for the Bengals in the long run. Cam Taylor Britt was playing at a Pro Bowl level, I felt, before he got hurt last season. So if you have a Pro Bowl level S corner on one side and an emerging cornerback on the other, the Bengals with their revised, safety group of Geno Stone and the return of Von Bell, you might actually have something on the back end. As I think when we go through the season here, we're going to be talking more about the front end now, especially with the lack of defensive tackles in the front and maybe their inability to still stop the run as they got gashed last year. But it looks like the cornerback position has been solidified here with Dax Hill. And you got quality backups. You got Fig Newton now as the rookie that's coming in. And then, the other corner from that school up north, who DJ Turner, who was in the leader in the clubhouse going into the offseason to play. He played really well in the beginning of the season last year, kind of hit the rookie wall, but as good as he can be or is, he has limitations physically. He's on the shorter side, even though he's fast as hell. He's on the shorter side, and you're playing these corners that are six or wide receivers who are 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", and you got a dude that's like 5'10" on a good day. It can be a little bit difficult. So a lot of depth in the cornerback room for the Bengals. Hope this works out for Dax. The other news, Trent Brown will be starting at right tackle as Marius Mims was in practice today in uniform, but not necessarily going full at practice. Mims looked really good in that preseason game. Of course, he got hurt. Now working his way back from that strained pectoral. Mims really looked good. But I think this was the plan all along was to try to break him in slowly and have Trent Brown come in and, solidify that right tackle's position. Again, this is the 6th year in a row that the Bengals open with a different right tackle. It's a trivia contest if you can name all 6. But, I think this offensive line group is the best group that has played in front of Joe Burrow since he's been in the league. Definitely at least at pass protecting. And hopefully they can keep him upright, keep him from falling on that wrist and, put some points on the board if they can keep him upright. I mean, again, if you give him a protected pocket with the weapons that the Bengals have, they're going to score points. It's just not possible. The Bengals get themselves into trouble, when he gets under pressure consistently and getting knocked down consistently. And he's still so good that he can get up and keep coming back. But, to give him some protection and to spread that ball around and be really good for the Bengals. And then they also named their captains today. Not a real surprise on there other than Mike Hilton, to me, not being a captain as he was one last year. You can breathe into that what you want. He's going into the final year of his contract. Maybe there's something to that. Or the returning veterans, Evan McPherson being a captain is kind of weird, but Von Bell coming back, maybe being the captain in the cornerbacks room. 2 linebackers make captains, but, Akeem Davis Gaither is obviously for special teams. Jermaine Pratt being a captain now. So it's a good group, and that's voted on by the players, not the coaches. So, good group of captains here for the Bengals and, a lot of guys with things to prove. Sam Hubbard's trying to come back here, from the ankle injury that he had last season. Orlando Brown's always trying to prove himself to be an elite tackle, as some people often question his ability. Evan McPherson signs his contract since the last time we recorded, making him one of the highest paid kickers. Dude is as clutch as it can as it is. And, sometimes the longer in the field goal, the better, to be honest with you, because I think he prefers it. So let's see how that goes with the groups of the captains when they roll them out there at the middle of the field on September 8th. All right, some Patriots notes. So we'll dive in a little bit to the Patriots. The biggest news that they made was that Jacoby Brissett was going to be the starter week 1, not going with Drake May, the rookie. I keep telling Goat Killer, Jared Mayo, again, there are very few black coaches in the NFL or even get the opportunity to be in the NFL. He has the pedigree of having played for the Patriots on when they're most successful. So that part is good. But he also should fully understand what the system is, following a legend, no less, that you need to play somebody that's going to be able to win you games. And rookies can win you games if they are elite. But if you aren't sure if they're elite, and Drake May is definitely a not sure if you're an elite quarterback, then you're going to want to put somebody out there that gives you the best chance to win. It's like Joe Burrow's first game, they didn't get a chance to play against Justin Herbert. They played against the longtime veteran quarterback in that game. And that's what the Bengals are going to be facing here with Jacoby Brissett. That's what he is, a veteran. He's going to take some sacks. The Bengals are going to get some sacks against Jacoby Brissett because he doesn't put the ball in danger. He's not going to be taking shots down the field, although they really don't have any wide receivers to do that anyway. He's there to manage the game, not turn the ball over, and hopefully their defense can, slow the Bengals down or get turnovers and put them in a position to be able to, keep the game close and or steal it at the end. So yeah, that's that. Again, they are in a rebuild with New England. They on the Boston Herald, and I posted the headline here that they seem to be relatively healthy though. Except for their left guard and left tackle, who have I guess missed practice for quite a few times now. They get the full 3 days off here before going back to practice on Wednesday and then traveling to Cincinnati on Friday. But with a quarterback that is immobile like Jacoby Brissett, and he is immobile, the Bengals tend to do well against quarterbacks that can't move. And again, he's not going to put the ball in danger. He'd sooner take a sack or throw it away than put the ball in, and the potential for it getting intercepted. So the offensive line for the Patriots wasn't that good to begin with. You're taking two starters out of there. Hell, Michael Jordan of Bengal fame, of Joe Burrow torn ACL fame, is a potential starter for that team. So that ought to tell you how bad it is. And again, they lost some defensive weapons. They traded their best defensive end to the Falcons. Christian Bearsal, they're good defensive tackles. He has some sort of heart condition. I can't remember what it fully was, so he's not going to be able to play. Like, they got some concerns there in New England. But they're just trying to hold on. Again, the Bengals start slow. There have been reasons for that, and I'll get to that in a little bit too. But, this is an opportunity for the Patriots if they can come in, don't turn the ball over. If the Bengals turn the ball over, start a little bit slow, a team like that with a defense like that can hang in the game for a long time. And again, with a couple of mistakes here and there, maybe the Bengals, mess it up. I don't think that's going to happen, but it is possible that it could be it. All right. So let's move on. So let's get into this, I guess. All right, like I said, two things can be true at the same time, and I'll get to that in a second. So let's do with things that aren't going to happen. Jamar Chase is going to play on Sunday. Even if he didn't play, the Bengals should be favored to win this game, but he's going to play. He's been showing up to practice. He's doing this hold in. He's active, throwing the ball around to people. He's obviously working out, as it was alluded to by Zach Taylor, late last week. He's been working out even when he's not practicing. So is he going to be in football shape? No. But I mean, this is a 23-year-old dude. Like, how worried are we about him actually being in shape to play football? He doesn't need reps with Joe Burrow. Like, probably finish each other's sentences at times. Like, that's not it. So now you have to be like, oh, okay, well, him doing this is messing with the team. That's not it either. Like, that's not even true. That's something that you think would be true, or would be true with you if you were working at a job and somebody was showing up or not showing up to that job to not do their job. Yeah, it creates those feelings. The NFL players know this is a business. Ted Karras said it in the locker room this week. This is a business. We're not going to be counting people's money and getting in their pockets about what they're trying to do. But if you, for any reason, think that Jamar Chase isn't going to be on this team or not play, you're just being the fanatical part of the fan there. Like, you need to slow down, think, breathe, touch grass, whatever you need to do, because none of those things are actually going to happen. Will the contract get done before week 1? I'm kind of leaning in that direction. Actually, I was kind of thinking that it wasn't for a while because the Bengals hold the leverage, and then Bengals don't want to set a precedent. But the Bengals are being a little stupid here in this regard too. Oh, well, third-year wide receivers don't get paid. We pay them after, year 3. Okay, but this is Jamar Chase. Oh, well, Justin Jefferson went through it. Yeah, I understand that, and it wasn't probably ideal for him either. And he got hurt last season too. and put, potential millions of dollars at risk by going out there and getting hurt. So, this is an investment. Jamar Chase is an investment in and of itself, and he has to protect his investment. Continually, you'll hear me talk about y'all be cheering for billionaire owners who don't care. And it feels like y'all are just like, y'all people entertain me. I don't care about your lives, your families, your well being, none of that stuff. Just come out here and entertain me. That's messed up. These people are people too. They happen to have incredible athletic ability that none of us could really even think or dream about. But their careers are also over by the time, for the most part, of them hit 35. So they have this small area or this small window to be able to maximize their earning potential. And so Jamar Chase in that position is doing that. That's it. There's not going to be any beef. They're not going to piss off not just Jamar Chase. They're not going to piss off his one of his closest friends in the quarterback and the franchise by not getting the deal done, whether it's now or at the end of the season. Like, breathe. It's not that serious. But like I said, two things can be true. Bengals are being foolish. Oh, we don't want to set a precedent. You do set precedents when the player is exceptional. So the next player that comes like, oh, I want to get negotiated after year 3. Oh, if your numbers are as good as Jamar Chase's or whoever else wanted to renegotiate, then bet we can have that conversation. But if you're not, yeah, we'll see you at the end of season 4 and see what happens. So the Bengals are being foolish. And like I said, if you've been a long-time fan here, you kind of know how this works under Mike Brown. He's not going to get bullied into anything, even with Katie Blackburn, even with the new people that are there working. He still controls literally the purse strings. So if he doesn't want to do this time now, it's not going to get done. And Jamar Chase will have to swallow it until next season. The Bengals are being stupid though, because the parameters have been set. You could pay him exactly what all these other dudes have gotten, between Ayuk and Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. Like, there's a parameter there. Just figure it out and pay the man. It's really not that big of a deal. But the Bengals, again, old school ways, old school dude, doesn't want to do it, but he's being foolish. But he's well within his right to say that because, well, we have him under contract. This is kind of how it's been done. Both things can be true. And Jamar is more than within his right to protect himself from going out there and getting hurt at a meaningless practice. Because, again, we are talking about practice, to quote Allen Iverson. So today is Monday. Bengals probably have Tuesday off. They'll come back to it on Wednesday. I would imagine that he practices on Wednesday. I know they said that everything is day to day, but I imagine he practices on Wednesday or Thursday as they're getting ready for the game. And then that'll be it. Could a contract be done in between now and then? Yeah, it's a possibility, I guess. But I would probably set the deadline date as probably Wednesday for a contract. And then at that point, you're just waiting for the end of the season. And again, could create some hard feelings here and there, but this is a business. Jamar understands that. The players on the team understand that. Nobody's going to be getting too upset by this. I mean, he showed up for the team photo today. He's still showing up to practice every day. Like, it's a hold in. It's not personal. It's definitely not personal to you as the fan, and I don't even think it's personal to the Bengals. He's looking out for himself, his family, and his future. Why are y'all against that? All right, bet. All right, so week 9 notes. I don't know if we've recorded when the Bengals announced that this game was going to be an orange out against the Patriots, wearing the all orange uniforms. First time being able to do that. The stadium's going to be decked out in orange. They're selling these shirts to benefit one of the food banks there in Cincinnati for charity. Like, it's going to be a big deal, and everybody's going to be way, way hyped for this orange out. I already bought my orange shirt. And chances are I'm probably going to get there and wind up buying something else because I'm just going to be so excited for this event. So there's that. First week of the ruler of the jungle is going to be Dan Hurley. I guess he's a Bengals fan, 2-time, back-to-back championships for the Yukon Huskies. Is going to be the ruler of the jungle, and I'll be there. Me and my crew is coming up and going to be there, all decked out in orange for the second year in a row for the season opener, trying to kind of make this a tradition for me and my family. So I will be there. I don't know, if you see this video, you'll see this face, so you'll know and come up and say what's happening to me. But yeah, we'll be in the house and looking forward to watching the Bengals win. So let's get to the predictions then. All right. So probably the best news I heard during the week was that they were going to be playing Jacoby Brissett. Not because I think Jacoby Brissett is terrible or anything. Just the Bengals and starting against rookies, first year starters, first time starters. That they have a really weird record with that. And Drake May is also mobile, and the Bengals oftentimes struggle with mobile quarterbacks historically. So I was like, I don't really like that at all. So with that being said, again, I don't know anything about the Patriots. I might listen to one of their podcasts here coming up to the week, and maybe I'll be like, you know what? That's a good ass team. I need to go back and change my prediction and re-record. But I'm gonna go based on what I read. Both teams relatively healthy. Chase is obviously going to play. I think the city of Cincinnati and Paycor is going to be absolutely bananas for this orange out. Because it's the first time that they're doing it. Everybody's going to be loud. Everybody's going to be going crazy. It's all going to be a really raucous atmosphere, as they might say. So, Patriots have a good defense. I think offensively, they might be a little bit challenged and a struggle there. And so, if they're not able to move the ball consistently or run the ball consistently and chew off the clock to keep the Bengals off the field, that means the Bengals offense is going to keep getting times and tries and chances at it. And eventually, with Joe Burrow, they're going to break through. So I saw somebody, it was Chad Johnson on one of the NFL shows, predicted Bengals are going to win 17-10. I was like, if the Bengals only score 17 points, that's a problem. So I'm going to go up a little bit more, one with a touchdown, 24-14. I'm going to say it's a game that's probably not that close initially. Like, those 14 points might come late for the Patriots, but that's my prediction. So leave your prediction in the comments on YouTube. It's an exciting week, y'all, with football back. Hoo day, everybody. Peace.